Context. We are in 2001, only the first 5 games have been released, the classic Tomb Raider era, a time when Lara Croft was badass. Let's see if the movie respects that. Wow, it's a Paramount film, those who edited the Indiana Jones, and co-produced by the Mutual Film Company who worked on Saving Private Ryan. The budget was $115 million and the movie made $275 million at the box office. Fun fact, the last movie of 2018 also made $275 million, but cost less. Then there is the 3D logo, not the most popular but not the worst either. The movie starts with Lara going down a rope. Well, that matches what we might see in the 4th game. She is played by Angelina Jolie, who looks like her, apart from her green eyes. In reality they are light blue, but she has the habit of wearing contact lenses. The rest of her appearance corresponds to what we would expect from a real Lara. She is in a tomb. We see the boots, her silhouette which is reminiscent of advertisements, her belt and her pistols. The t-shirt is too dark but seems well proportioned. Lara is supposed to be tall and Angelina is a bit too short. The actress was 26, which was almost Lara's age. It probably takes place in Egypt since there are hieroglyphs on this wall, but the treasure looks more modern. Seen from afar it looks like the latest fashionable smartphone. When suddenly she is attacked by a Matrix robot. I like the idea that Lara takes advantage of the machine's position to propel herself backwards by doing acrobatics. We're talking about a woman who dedicates most of her property to the gym. The following games will add these jumps to the gameplay even if they already existed in the first one. She draws her weapons while bouncing back. I wonder how they're gonna handle the fact that she never reloads. Oh, clever. Then she demonstrates her great accuracy by firing on a rope, and empties her magazines on a pillar to weaken it and use it to crush the robot. The robot is knocked out, but like Natla at the end of the first game it has a second life bar. This shot is interesting. What do you expect Lara to do in that situation? She turns the robot's weaponry against itself, then uses her guns to smash its head. The film began just 5 minutes ago and we figured out exactly who we were dealing with. Surprise, the robot was actually a training robot. Lara inserts a USB key that plays party music. It's funny because it means Lara was also hearing the music from the start, which suggests that the music we hear when driving a vehicle could be directly chosen by Lara. This is genius. Maybe Marvel was inspired by this scene since Tony Stark does the same. She pulls the robot back by herself, because why not? She's pulled heavier stuff before. We noticed that they really built a robot for this scene. Who is this guy? Since when does Lara have a partner? An interesting detail is that in the French version Lara is dubbed by the actress who does her voice in the game.
Il était programmé pour s'interrompre avant de me trancher la gorge.
I don't know how it goes in the other languages, but it's incredible. Oh, there's Winston. Strangely young, but there is Winston, just like the mansion. What is this place? The Gryffindor common room? Let's think for a moment. Lara has just trained, based on the games. What could she do now? Take a shower, of course. She undresses in front of Winston, because it's Lara Croft. She doesn't care. She had already done that in front of a monk, so it's in her character. The next shot takes place in Venice. We can even hear the bell like in the game. The bad guy is Mr. Powell. I guess Bartoli was already taken. He is looking for a key which must be used to find the 2 parts of a triangle, and he must hurry because the planets very rarely align. It takes place in Venice because he works for the Illuminati. Back to the Croft Manor, which is rather similar, especially this alignment of bricks. In fact, it is the Hatfield house, the one that served as a reference for the development of the game. Lara is so rich that she has an observatory in her house. It is Winston who offers her quests. She refuses an adventure in Egypt, as if she had had enough of the pyramids. She is sad because it is the day her father died. She lays a daisy necklace on his grave. This kind of thing takes a long time to make and requires gentleness, so if Lara, who tends to be rough, managed to make it, it shows that she really cared about her father. So she has a grave in her garden. It's original for a Tomb Raider. The mansion and its gardens are really cool. I'm just surprised Winston isn't there with the tea. Lara says that tonight Neptune, Pluto and Uranus will line up. Actually, Pluto would be too small to get such an image. It's not even considered a planet anymore. Plus when she zooms in on it the stars don't move, which doesn't make sense, but I digress. Oh, the mansion even has its gate. On the next shot Lara is sleeping. It's probably a coincidence, but the opening on the left corresponds to the bedroom of the game, and as we saw the curtains on the previous shots we can deduce that it's the bathroom. Happy coincidence or not, that's great. She has a dream where we see Kid Lara and her father, which reveals the existence of the triangle. Wow, Lara sleeps with her knife. I don't know, but I like to imagine it's Xian's dagger. She uses it to open an old box she saw in her dream. She finds a clock there and wakes up Chris, the geek who lives in a trailer in front of the mansion. He discovers an object inside and begins to disassemble the clock. But it's too slow for Lara. We can notice that Winston protects himself from splinters with his tray, a subtle reference. Then we have a motorcycle sequence. Badass Lara is back. She meets Alex at the exit of an auction. He's one of her rivals she doesn't like because he stole her prayer wheels. A reference to the second game. We could sum up their conversation by, "We are different, I only play for sport." She asks an old man for help. Lara tells her the story of the triangle that allows you to become master of time. It's a pity that this actor doesn't play Winston. Here his name is Wilson, and according to Wikipedia Winston is called Hillary in this film. By the way, I noticed that Chris is called Bryce or Briss in the original version. Also on several pages we find the name of Mark Colley who plays Larson, but Larson is not mentioned in the film. Where are you, Larson? Is it another name change or a deleted scene? I don't know. Back to the movie. Do you have any idea how much it costs to book a shopping mall in London for a 3-second shot? Wilson informs Lara that he contacted Powell about the triangle. It is in this scene that we learn that she is a terrible cook, so Lara has a weakness. The next day she meets Powell, but she is suspicious. Yay, Croft Manor again. She does some exercises before going to bed. But she left the door open, which isn't weird. Who would be crazy enough to attack Lara Croft? We learn that the building has motion detection systems. Lara stops on a chandelier, another reference. The mansion is attacked and Lara has no weapon. Fortunately Winston gives the alert. When the ground troops arrive, Lara has already knocked out her opponent. I like this shot with the lightning bolts, like she's some kind of monster on the ceiling waiting to strike, kind of like a Black Widow. She escapes through a trap door while Winston in his pajamas puts on his bulletproof vest and his slippers. The bad guys blow up the room of the key and the security of the mansion gets activated, kind of like Shrek 2. Lara is stuck in her garage and improvises a weapon with her tools. Then Winston defends the mansion with the shotgun. This is gold. She gets on her bike and activates an epic cutscene. She even uses the rear wheel to knock out an enemy. She blew up several luxury cars and bottles of wine, but she doesn't care. On her return the key has been stolen. She almost kills Winston with her Uzi, but this time she cares because it's Winston. The next day she receives a letter from her late father. It contains an enigma. Lara goes to the library, which makes me think that after the observatory she would be more of a Ravenclaw. Her father tells her that the triangle was part of a cult of the people of light. The Pyramid Temple was destroyed because it is a tradition in Tomb Raider. One of the pieces of the triangle is said to be in a Khmer temple in Cambodia and the Illuminati are looking to retrieve it. Lara only has 15 hours to get there. How will she do it? Welcome to Tomb Raider 3, things are getting serious. She notices that Powell and Alex are already there. We also learn that she used a GPS to locate the place. Only 72 minutes before the planets align. Lara doesn't care and drives through the jungle in her military armored vehicle to reach the temple. I like the contrast between the bad guys forcibly destroying the temple and Lara sneaking in from behind. She is intrigued by a girl who seems to teleport, probably a spirit. It reminds me of the swamp scene in Avatar, but also the third game with the little monkeys. Suddenly Lara walks on a trapped slab and falls into the temple. She opens a torch. She confronts the villains but manages to crack the riddle before Alex. I've seen this shot before somewhere, either in Indiana Jones or Jurassic Park. By the way, Powell's hat and costume are reminiscent of the cowboy from the first game. He is also with a tall bald man. The funny detail is that they both have the weapons of the game. Alex asks to remove the swords from the large statue, which any Tomb Raider player knows is a very bad idea. Lara warns Powell that he's got the method wrong and Powell asks the bald man to kill her. He finally gives her the key and the mechanism activates. Lara explodes the jar and the triangle appears. The statues come to life and defend the temple like in Tomb Raider 2, they even have javelins. Lara purifies the area while Alex recovers the key. Then she triggers a boss phase that reminds her of her adventures. What follows is a cutscene that lags terribly for dramatic effect. She manages to run away with the piece of triangle, but she is stopped by Alex, who tells her it's over because he has the high ground, but she doesn't care and performs a swan dive. She joins civilization aboard a kayak, or rather a gondola, I don't know, it depends on the game you prefer. She crosses paths with Brother Chang's son, or a random monk, and informs Chris of the progress of her research. Then she rests in a sort of Barkhang monastery where she drinks a magic tea that heals her wounds. That's what's hidden in her medipacks. We return to Venice with this magnificent transition. Lara confronts Powell in the Opera House of the Illuminati and demonstrates her ability at knife throwing. A mind game scene follows. Powell reveals that the recomposed triangle gives the power of a god and offers her a deal, to help him in exchange for her father's life. Then he plays with his knife because it's been 30 seconds since we had a badass scene. She visits Alex to warn him to stay on the right side and also to show she is able to sneak in everywhere. Oh, and it was important to see what a male version of Lara Croft would look like. Then we have a badass helicopter scene. They go to the Lost City, in Siberia, located in a meteor crater. I've seen that somewhere before. She meets a new kid who seems to read her mind. Oh, and there are wolves too, the natural version of the snowmobile. Then she finds herself in the prologue of Tomb Raider 4, a place where the wolves turns into a skinless four-legged creature by passing through a portal. Lara and Alex climb on the machine and she gets sucked inside before coming out with the second part of the ski-on, or the triangle. Then we have this scene with very well-known dramatic music. The planets are aligned and Powell assembles the triangle, but since nothing happens he throws his knife at Alex. He falls in the water and gets stuck in the gear of the machine. I hate when it happens. Lara kisses him underwater. Powell asks her to help him solve the riddle of the triangle because its powers could go back in time and therefore save Alex. This annoys Lara so much that the water starts boiling. She throws the key into the portal and retrieves the small missing piece. They are teleported to the ancient pyramid. At the top levitates a kind of resurrection stone which allows her to see her father again. He explains that he cannot return but that he will always be with her. Harry, I mean Lara, asks him if it's real. Dumbledore, I mean her father, replies that she is in her reality. Then Lara goes back in time and gets the powers of Magneto and Quicksilver. She changes the trajectory of the knife which causes Powell to stab himself with his own knife. Then she destroys the artifact causing the room to collapse. Everyone flees but Powell tells Lara that he killed her father. Lara is furious and agrees to a duel with her bare hands. Powell fights as Agent Smith and Lara as Fiona. The ceiling crumbles like in the dragon's lair and she escapes with the wolves because there was some money left for a badass scene, and finally she goes home, to practice. The film has flaws, but contains a significant number of memorable moments. I think the music could have been better. I can't remember any theme after several viewings, but it didn't bother me. Lara Croft is credible, that's the most important thing. She doesn't cry for stupid problems, she even seems to enjoy situations at times. And above all, she is taken seriously by everyone. Just like in the first game, the villain first tries to kill her, before using her to get what he is looking for. In addition, there is the whole backstory with his father and several rather funny jokes, like when she calls Wilson during the auction and almost accidentally buys a luxury item, when she could actually buy all the items in the room. You voted and I agree, this is the best Tomb Raider movie. See you next time.